St. Louis, Missouri. A crowd of some 30,000 expected at the Edward Jones Dome to see this second round on the road to the Final Four. From the WAC, the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. They won 27 times this year against Kentucky's Wildcats. 7 national championships from the SEC. And the Tulsa, Kentucky winners, you look at the brackets in the East, will advance to the Sweet 16 and play either Maryland or Wisconsin in Syracuse next Friday night. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Kenberg with Matt Gukas. When you wear Kentucky on your jersey, your fans expect you to win championships. That's the tradition. So it's been a pressured year for Tubby Smith and the Wildcats. But the pressure's off when the big guys step up for you.
Well, Dick, one of those big guys is Keith Bogans, and they got the Keith Bogans of a year ago just in time. His last 10 games just ordinary, but 21 points against Valpo, 4 out of 5 3-pointers. Valparaiso was giving him all kinds of room, showing no respect for his shot. And I think for Kentucky to move on in this tournament, Keith Bogans is going to have to be a productive player. Not necessarily 21 a game, but at least double figures.
And one of the charms of the championship is to meet new faces, new players. Tulsa has one. He leads them in scoring. He's the son of a former Baltimore Colt player in the NFL, Kevin Johnson.
Well, they rely so heavily on their perimeter players, but Kevin Johnson is the key on the interior, blocking shots, and it enables his teammates to gamble outside. He swatted 4 against Marquette, and he is a relentless worker on the glass.
In his first year at the age of 55, he got his head coaching job. John Phillips, longtime assistant and high school coach, done a great job with this small team. Tallest on the front line, 6'7". Some of the players you're looking at now will be guarding a Kentucky opponent 7 inches taller today. That will be key. Greg Harrington had the winning shot in their victory on Thursday night. Tubby Smith, already a NCAA championship in '98, now in his 5th year as the head man in Lexington, Kentucky. And here's his starting lineup. Tayshaun Prince, a 3rd-team All-America, their leading scorer. The freshman Hayes, Kamara, big size, 6'11". Bogans, who came alive Thursday night, and the point guard Cliff Hawkins. Also with us, Armand Katayan.
Thank you, Dick. Look for Tulsa to try to crack Kentucky's newfound confidence right off the bat. Coach Phillips telling me he still feels that Kentucky is vulnerable emotionally, despite that very strong showing Thursday night against Valparaiso. To that end, he will pressure Kentucky's guards tonight with a half-court defense and a lot of quickness. He says we feel that they will crumble from the start and play into our hands. Dick?
Thank you, Armin. And off the tip, off the foot of Dante Swanson to Kentucky. The officials, Sanzier, O'Neal, and Cartmel. And of course, they're playing for recognition as well. A good job, and they can advance to the next round themselves. Those assignments to be made on Monday night. This is the freshman Hayes. Kamara at 6'11" to Hawkins. Bogans back out to Kamara for the 15-footer. Won't fall. And up for the rebound is Swanson. To his buddy, close friend, Antonio Reed. Reed hit a couple of threes early in the win on Thursday night, and a foul. First ticket goes to Kevin Johnson of Tulsa.
Now, the first defensive sequence for Tulsa looked like everybody was sagging back into the lane, and why wouldn't you? Kentucky, just a very woeful perimeter shooting team. Their strength is their power and taking the ball strong to the basket.
Look at Prince against Harrington. He's 6'9". Harrington trying to guard him at 6'2".
That's going to be an interesting mismatch to look at both ends of the floor.
Kevin Johnson, the leading scorer for each team, gets the first basket today.
You see the sagging defense there. Tayshaun Prince. Now they're just switching. It looks like pretty much a 2-3 zone right now for Tulsa. Something they don't normally like to play, although it was very effective at the end of the Marquette game.
Tayshaun Prince with a good ball fake, and he has hit his first 2 shots. 4-2 Wildcats. All 3 of these guards for Tulsa like the 3-point shot. Harrington, it falls inside the arc, and he's fouled. It's tied at 4. Hawkins' first foul.
The 6'2 senior out of Carrollton, Texas, the hero of the Game 1 win against Marquette, with a little runner in the lane at the other end of the floor, getting off to a good start here. He's certainly, if anytime he's matched up at the other end with Tayshaun Prince, just at 6'2", going against 6'9", is going to be a difficult proposition for Greg.
Yeah, he said, well, I had to guard against Texas A&M, a guy 7 feet tall. That's no problem. 5-4 Tulsa's first lead. And Hawkins left alone. They'd like him to shoot more. He's been reluctant to do so. But the sophomore from Dumfries, Virginia, gives Kentucky a 1-point lead.
And the reason that Tulsa doesn't mind him shooting from the outside, just a 39% shooter, very inconsistent. However, when he makes his first shot, he becomes a much tougher player in every area.
Active away from the ball, Tulsa offense. Reed amongst the big trees. Swanson, one of the leading three-point shooters in the country, misses his first. Davis, the leading rebounder on the season for the Golden Hurricane, got that one. And Antonio Reed nails the three. 8-6 Tulsa.
Antonio Reed coming off an 18-point game, 4 out of 8 from downtown against Marquette.
Bogans. And he hits his first three, and that's a good sign for Tubby Smith and the Wildcats.
They seem to have a lot of guys that thrive when they make their first shot.
Whoa, down heavily goes Antonio Reed, and the foul.
Here's Keith Bogans, who hit 4 out of 5 in the first game against Valparaiso. Has had a very uneven, if not a very inconsistent season, but you see the numbers, 21 points, and really breaking out of it in a big way, played with a lot of confidence. He took, in that Valparaiso game, the first shot he took was a perimeter shot. Then there was an early timeout, and you could tell that Tubby Smith had said to him, take the ball to the basket. They want him taking the ball inside, using that strong body, getting to the free throw line so he gets some easy baskets.
Antonio Reed misses the first, hits the second to tie it at 9. Just 3 minutes into this game in St. Louis, Missouri.
It's also giving a lot of different looks defensively at Kentucky, trying to get them a little bit confused, trying to get them to be thinking out on the floor, which is always a big problem for them.
Reach-in foul against the Golden Hurricane from Tulsa, Oklahoma, one of the smaller schools in the 65 teams that started the tournament. Great season again, 27-6. They won the NIT a year ago. It's about 400 miles drive, Tulsa to St. Louis, and about 320 Lexington here, so equidistant for fans of these two teams.
Take a look at Chuck Hayes on the free throw line, 6'7" freshman out of Modesto, California. Got off to a good start the other day, but then got into some early foul problems. Just recently moved into the starting lineup about 10 games ago.
Reed uses a screen from Johnson, and there's the body foul by Hayes, the freshman. His first. And University of Kentucky Lexington, much bigger school, one of the great programs in all of college basketball. 21-9 would be outstanding for a lot of schools, but at Kentucky, that's just a moderate year. A lot of grumbling in the state of Commonwealth of Kentucky, but Bogans can certainly turn those frowns to smiles if he continues to play at this level. A 4-point lead, the biggest of this early first half.
And Tulsa certainly cannot afford to be careless with the basketball in their end. They have to be almost play I'm not going to say a perfect game, but they just do not have the margin for error, because Kentucky has too much size, strength, power going to the basket. Then you give Kentucky easy baskets. It just makes their whole job a lot easier.
Harrington has it pecked away, 7 on the clock. Johnson can't hit. Harrington starts a new 35. Senior who has been a part of 108 Tulsa wins. Greg Harrington, the most of any player in the history of the Tulsa program. Rebound Kamara. Here come the Cats leading by 4. Kentucky starting 5 for 6 from the floor. Prince way outside, bangs home the 3, and suddenly Kentucky leads by 7. Timeout Tulsa. Tayshaun Prince, All-America 3. And welcome back to the E-Dome, they call it here, the home of the NFL St. Louis Rams, where Kentucky has jumped out 17-9 and a 11-1 run for the Wildcats.
Outstanding shooting for a team that shoots just 67%. I should say 31% from 3-point line. Tayshaun Prince looking very comfortable, having knocked down his first 3 shots.
And those big guys not having any trouble looking over their shorter defender. Good defensive pressure. J.P. Blevins in there for the first time now for Kentucky. He's in for Hawkins. Tough shot is falling away, and connecting is Dante Swanson for his first basket. 5 minutes gone. Bogans with a pass to Kamara. It's 19-11 Kentucky. First points for Jules Kamara. Underway in St. Louis, and the Kentucky Wildcats red hot off the opening bell. 19-11 with Tayshaun Prince and Keith Bogans, their 2 star players, hitting most of the points, and they've completed almost every shot they've taken. 7 for 8. Kamara, there's a rare miss for him, and Tulsa in black with the ball. Hurricanes defeating Marquette by 2 on Thursday night. Kentucky advanced with a 15-point victory against Valparaiso.
The Tulsa coach, John Phillips, telling us yesterday that he thinks anytime a team gets out of their norm, does things they're not used to, they become a less effective team, and that's what's happened to his ball club. Kevin Johnson following up nicely, but so far Tulsa throwing all kinds of different defenses at Kentucky. That is not their style. They usually just play straight, hard, tough man-to-man, but you can tell they're worried about Kentucky's size.
There's one of the mismatches. 7 inches shorter is Swanson guarding Bogans, but Bogans misses the shot. Harrington setting up inside to Kevin Johnson, who has 6 of the 15 for Tulsa.
Well, that's the offensive game plan for the Golden Hurricane. Start by going inside to Kevin Johnson, see what he can get done. If he does score some baskets, he'll draw some attention in there, and then he can kick it out to the good 3-point shooters.
Prince over Harrington, and again he has, at 6 feet 9 inches tall, a 7-inch advantage over the man trying to defend.
And he just looks like a big guy playing against a lot of little guys out there, just having clear vision, nobody really bothering his shot.
Prince now with 9 to lead all scorers early. Johnson powerfully built, short on that shot. Here comes Blevins for Kentucky. And here's that matchup. 6'2" Harrington guarding 6'9" Prince.
I mean, shouldn't be able to bother Harrington out on the perimeter, but Prince can handle the ball well enough to get himself into a good scoring area and shoot over Harrington.
Hayes driving the baseline, but stepped on the baseline before the shot. And with that, a timeout. 12:45 left in this opening half. Bogans hitting from outside. That sets up the pass inside to Kamara. The University of Kentucky leading by 6 with 12:45 remaining in this opening half against Valparaiso. Tayshaun, well, Ashley Judd, 90 graduate of the University of Kentucky, here to cheer on her Cats. She is a terrific fan. We've seen her year after year in the tournament. She's ready to offer full support.
She was trying to go incognito with the baseball cap on, but she has doffed it.
Kind of looking for Steve Largent, one of the famed graduates of the
where's Nancy Lopez?
And Nancy Lopez, another. That's right. She's probably working today. Swanson, one of the leading 3-point shooters in the nation, way off the mark. Good defense again for Kentucky. This is Blevins. Rashad Caruth makes his first appearance, so a new backcourt in there for Kentucky. And Eric Daniels can't hold on. The steal by Swanson. Dante Swanson with a steal and score. He has 4, and Tulsa pulls within 4. 8 minutes into the game.
Tulsa keeps changing up their defense. They've come in with Jack Ingram, a sophomore. Gives them a little bit size at 6'10", had a terrific game against Marquette. And they will need that height.
Fish can't hit. Daniels with a rebound and can't score. So Tubby Smith has all of his starters on the bench at the moment. 5 new men on the floor in the white for Kentucky. Parker in for Tulsa and hits the three. Jason Parker, that'll sound familiar to Kentucky fans. He was their #3 scorer, #2 rebounder a year ago. But the Kentucky Jason Parker, injured, is out for the year. This is the Tulsa version, and he hits his first shot. 1-point game. 11 to go in this first half.
All right, Kentucky not doing anything against that zone defense except pass the ball around the perimeter, and Rashad Caruth, well, hey, I might as well shoot it. We're not doing anything else.
Caruth, the freshman from College Park, Georgia, his first points. This is Jack Ingram, the 6'10" center, sophomore from San Antonio, makes his first appearance. Parker with the drive on Caruth, and the body foul will be called against Caruth of Kentucky. And a timeout as we approach the midpoint of this first 20-minute period, and Kentucky leading Tulsa 24-20. And the steal by Swanson, what Tulsa needs more of.
Tulsa has been changing their defenses just about every time down the floor, but mostly it's been this 2-3, and where the opening is right in this area here. But when you catch the ball in there, you don't want to put the ball on the floor. You want to turn, look for your shot, look for a pass inside, or look for a pass in the wing. If you put it down on the floor, you're going to lose it.
It's Tulsa in black with the ball, trailing Kentucky 24-20. 10.5 minutes left in this opening half. Jason Parker, #14, off the bench, hit his first three. This is Jurius Glenn, takes it inside, and Marquis Estel able to deny, and they call it a held ball, and so Kentucky will go the other way.
And Tulsa has to feel very good about being down only 4 points, the way that Kentucky got started off with their outside shooting in particular.
4 for 6 on three-pointers. They were only 5 of 16 the entire game against Valparaiso, and 4 of those 5 were by Bogans. Daniels to Caruth. Blocked. Both Ingram and Glenn were up there with the shooter. Don't miss any action. Get exclusive audio plus video highlights and detailed play-by-play from each game at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. 24-20. The Cats of Kentucky. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Estel. Jump hook is short. Almost a blind tip in by Daniels. Ingram with the rebound. Long pass to Johnson, left alone. And Kevin Johnson, the leading scorer for the Hurricane, has 8 points.
Good job by Jason Parker keeping his head up. This second unit for Kentucky not very alert at either end of the floor right now.
Boy, look at that Johnson get in the air.
He's got a great physique on him, and he's in terrific shape, and he's a relentless worker. It's a tough combination.
The fake, and Parker takes it inside. He'll go to the line. It appeared to be Estel that got a piece of him. It was his first.
Take a look at Kevin Johnson running the floor here. He's going to go straight down here, and then the man there is going to keep his head up. Jason Parker there. And again, just lazy defense on the part of Marquis Estel, expecting somebody else to either help him out, but you got to see man and ball in that situation, and Tubby Smith has seen enough of the backup unit and is substituting on Moss.
The entire starting 5 returns for Smith. So the 5 reserves out, the 5 starters in. This is Jason Parker, his father, a law professor at the University of Tulsa. He himself an outstanding student, 3.60 in management. A sophomore from right there in Tulsa, went to Memorial High School, and he ties the game at 24.
Dick, they consider him like another starter. He gets about 20 minutes a game, and they expect double figures out of him. He averages almost 9 a game.
13-5 run for the Golden Hurricane. Hawkins. Nice pass. Hayes has it blocked by Ingram. You're starting to appreciate The quickness of Tulsa. They may not be tall, but they can jump, and they are quick.
Well, Ingram's got to give him tough minutes, in particular at the defensive end. It wouldn't hurt if he'd make a couple of those shots.
Ledoux, the shot was so bad it became a good pass to Ledoux, who has his first point.
I was going to say, call it a pass. Give him an assist.
Yeah, you shooters. There you go again. Any bad shot to pass. 26-24, Tulsa back in front. 15-5. Run for the Golden Hurricane. Kamara. And gets the kind bounce. It's tied at 26.
Nice move by Jules Kamara. He chipped in with 11 points the other day against Valparaiso. That's his area. Facing up at about 10-12 feet.
Reed, the only starter on the floor, and he tried the behind the back pass. It went right to Hayes. Hawkins to Prince. Oh my. Two of the Tulsa defenders banging into Prince, and he'll go to the line. Foul on Jarius Glenn is first.
Boy, Tayshaun Prince going hard to the basket. He's got a very, very slight body, and Tulsa making sure that he's not going to get anything easy there. He's going to have to make him earn it at the free throw line. Just a 68% free throw shooter.
Prince is one of the final 10 to receive the inaugural class award in Kansas City in late April. It'll go to the senior who stayed in school rather than falling to other temptations and helped his team. The class award, Tayshaun Prince is one of the final 10. Well, he gets 1 out of 2, and Kentucky back in front by 1. Second round action in St. Louis. So look at our game summary. The numbers as close as the score, 27-26. Kentucky led by as much as 5. Tulsa's biggest lead is 2. Any pattern thus far that
Kentucky, their starters got off to a great start. Shot 7 out of 8 from the field in the first 4 minutes, but since that, 3 for 11, but that was primarily the second unit in there. And Tulsa with 5 turnovers, and those turnovers are leading to easy baskets the other way for the Wildcats.
Harrington back in, the starter. And Ledoux unable to hit the banker, but Ingram, and he last touches it out of bounds to Kentucky. Ingram gave Coach John Phillips some good minutes on Thursday against Marquette. And he can shoot it outside at 6'10". Hawkins denied by Ingram.
I see Jason Parker trying to put a lot of pressure on Hawkins, now trying to deny him the basketball, make other guys make decisions for Kentucky.
Hayes, the freshman, to Prince, the senior. Bogan's left alone for 3. Right down the bottom of the well, and Keith Bogan's now with 8 for Kentucky. Way outside. Oh my. Jason Parker from about 30 hits the 3. He has 8 points off the bench.
He's bouncing back nicely from a poor shooting game against Marquette. Just 1 for 7 in that ball game.
Kentucky by 1 with 6.5 to go, and Prince from 3. Kamara with a long rebound.
Tayshaun Prince got off to such a good start, made his first 4 field goals. He's feeling it.
Kamara. And the rebound to Ingram. Here come the Golden Hurricane, trailing by 1.
It's an unusual looking lineup for Tulsa. This with 2 guards and 3 big men. They're such a small team. But I think against his first unit, John Phillips wants to have a little size out there to bang with the bigger bodies.
Jarius Glenn out quicking Kentucky to the loose ball, and then he's blocked by Prince. Hawkins the other way. Whoa! Bogan's up high, and he's fouled. You could see as that ball left the passer's hands that was going to be a tough catch.
Well, you can see even before the eyes are up for Cliff Hawkins all the way. And Keith Bogans, I think, does a terrific job here. Most players, when they get up in the air, and I only know this from observation, Dick, that they try to finish that in one fell swoop. But Bogans did the smart thing there. Made sure that he caught the basketball. Take the possession over the position, and he winds up on the free throw line.
It's the 4th team foul on Tulsa. Kentucky's committed 5. And Bogans now with another free throw and looks for his 10th point of the game as Charlie Davis, a starter, returns.
Such a difficult season for the 6'5" junior out of Alexandria, Virginia. Just shot the ball miserably. Some extenuating circumstances for that. You mentioned Jason Parker, a key guy for them. And that hurt, I think, both Tayshaun Prince and Bogans not having his presence inside.
And left alone is Kamara to jam it home. He has 6, and Kentucky back on top by 4. Reed, Harrington, Johnson, Davis, and Swanson, the starters on the floor. But there's the turnover. Hawkins the other way. Harrington to beat. And Kentucky enjoys a 6-point advantage.
I think you have to give some of the credit to the aggressive Kentucky defense forcing some of these turnovers. On the other hand, this is not typical Tulsa basketball. They normally take care of the ball and get good shots.
6 turnovers now for Tulsa. Davis jammed in the corner. Reed. Harrington left alone on the baseline, and he nails it.
That's just a little bit of patience, reversing the ball from one side to the other. The problem Tulsa is having, they want to go inside to Kevin Johnson, and the size of Kentucky making that very difficult to get to.
Kamara, but he's blocked by Johnson. Prince for 3. And Kentucky red hot from outside the arc. A 7-point advantage. Prince with 13 first-half points.
They got a little hot with their step right now, feeling good about themselves. They know they're playing good basketball these last few minutes.
Harrington unable to hit the runner. Kentucky is 6 for 9 from 3. And Bogans misses the layup but was fouled. I believe Reed had his hand in there.
Well, Kentucky is just passing the ball beautifully, but that's an outstanding defensive play by Kevin Johnson, an outstanding shot blocker, as Kamara should have been able to dunk that ball home with his size. And Kentucky is moving the ball well. They're finding the seams, they're finding open areas, and consequently getting high percentage shots. And normally you wouldn't think 3-point shots are high percentage for them, but when you're in rhythm, everything starts to drop.
Bogans hits them both. This is Kentucky's biggest advantage, 9 points. Johnson not there. And Swanson inside, the little guy picking up the rebound. At 5'10", Swanson and Reed, 2 smallest men on the court, but lightning quick. Reed's pass to Johnson. How beautifully executed was that?
Against the 2-3 zone of Kentucky, and a lot of times that's where those lobs and alley-oops will be available behind the defense, and that was a terrific look.
Just totally outsized is this Tulsa team. Hayes can't hit the 3. Rebound to Johnson. Reed hustling it down court. Oh, what a nice move, but he didn't hit. But Davis there to tap in the rebound. His first basket. 3 minutes to go. Kentucky's lead reduced to 5.
And that's what Tulsa can do out of their defense. They push the ball very well, and when they have those smaller, quicker players on the floor, they can beat you down the floor.
Tulsa with 11 second chance points. Kamara. Davis pulls down the rebound. Here comes Harrington. Well, 15-footers open. And the foul on Harrington over the shoulder of Bogans. You know, it's interesting, players in college especially, they like to increase their height in the program by an inch or 2. Kevin Johnson, we've seen him start listed at 6'7". You feel he's bigger than that. He certainly plays taller. Here's Davis. He too at 6'7", and a timeout. 2:31 left in the half. Welcome back, Kentucky by 5. Here's Kevin Johnson, listed at 6'7". Look at the height here.
A lot of people call him a tweener, not a small forward, not a big forward, but he can certainly play well above the rim. And you know, a lot of times in college basketball, they call, program heights, and they inflate them quite a bit. But, it's kind of standing near him yesterday. I didn't go back to back with him, but I'm about a little over 6'6", and he appears to have at least 2 inches over me. So he's a lot closer to 6'9" than he is 6'7". He certainly plays bigger than 6'7".
Brilliant leaper. Bill Fitch back in the game. In the backcourt now with Hawkins, Hayes, Estel, and Prince. This is Estel. And a travel on him. 2:13 remaining in this opening up. Tubby Smith, it's quite a day for him. Here he's playing for a chance to go to the Sweet 16. His youngest son is playing in the high school state championship back at Rupp Arena tonight. So he'll miss his third son's chance as a junior to win the Kentucky high school basketball title. And it's all divisions. You play one championship for all. Big school, large school, small school, much like it used to be in Indiana. Parker takes it and scores. So off the bench, Jason Parker with 10 points to keep Tulsa close to Kentucky. It's a 3-point game.
That's a nice job by Parker. He's only 6'2", took it to 6'10". Marquise Estel just leaned into him, froze him a little bit by using his body.
Parker trying to front Prince. And Hawkins fires. Comes out to Reed. Look at him hustle up court. Oh, he's a blur. That leaves Swanson open for 3, shooting 50% on the season from outside the arc, and the game is tied at 40.
Terrific transition basketball. Wise play by Reed not to force anything there, but that skip pass is almost always there when you force that defense to run back. I don't see it.
And Reed was on his way for an easy layup, and to prevent it, Fitch grabbed his jersey, and the foul is called, and he saved a basket, and that won't send Reed to the line. That's only the 6th team foul on Kentucky.
You could see Reed there circling the court there, but his head up all the while, finding his backcourt mate. Swanson at the other side, and then the alert jab defensively, bursting into that passing lane.
Final minute of this opening half. There have been 6 ties. Kentucky leading by as much as 9 to the biggest lead for Tulsa. 10 on the clock.
Zone defense here for Kentucky. Corners will be open.
Davis having trouble with 3. And then finds all of the iron. And Tulsa leads by 2. Final shot for Kentucky. Estel. Hawkins with 4. Estel with 3. Prince with 1. Prince, it'll count if it goes. It goes. And Tayshaun Prince with a 3 at the buzzer. And Kentucky goes to the locker room with a 43-42 lead with the All-America Prince. 16 points in the half.
While working against the zone defense, the little dribble penetration, you're going to get open shots in the corner. Charlie Davis, a terrific percentage shooter at 63%. This is not pretty at all. They just keep him ball moving around. Nobody can get an open shot. One pass after another, and finally, Tayshaun Prince has nothing left to do but fire up the basket. And Tubby Smith had that look on his face like, how did that play ever work?
Good play. Good play, head coach says. So Prince with 16, Bogans with 11, the 2 stars leading Kentucky. Parker and Johnson with 10. Coming up, it'll be Greg and Clark in New York with all the updates. First, a message and a word from your local station.
Championship is sponsored by Chevy, Kinko's Network, IBM, and by Miller Lite.
Closing in on the sunset hours, 5:30 here in St. Louis. A look at our halftime statistics, and oh, what shooting from three-point range.
Well, you expect that from Tulsa because they are one of the nation's leaders at a little over 40%, but not Kentucky as a team on the season, just 31%.
But led by Tayshaun Prince and Keith Bogans, the Wildcats with a 1-point lead, 43-42. And Kevin Johnson, you can't say enough about this junior for the Golden Hurricane.
Well, Tulsa, just about every slow time down the floor wants to try to get the ball inside to him. They started the game getting it to him on the baseline. He showed a very nice little jump hook there, and then hiding behind the zone, just going up and not trying to be too fancy with it, just guiding it into the basket.
His dad, we said, played for the Baltimore Colts, was a three-sport star at the University of Houston, where he met his wife, the mother of Kevin, and he was homeschooled, Kevin Johnson, since the 4th grade. He said, I had to do my homework because you know who my principal was? My dad. And he is an honor student at Tulsa. Well, they'll look for the honor of being a part of the Sweet 16. This is kind of, you win one game and then you play in the second round of the tournament. That sounds okay, but you win 2 games and then you're in the Sweet 16, and that's a whole different dance. Couldn't have been much closer that first half. Tubby Smith's team did open up a 9-point lead at 40-31. And just as an added note, Bogans and Prince both in double figures. That hasn't happened for Kentucky in the first half since back in November when they played Morehead State. So that's a good omen for the Cats.
Well, we featured Keith Bogans in our open, and already in double figures, and that's just about what they need for him. But not only the scoring, but moving the ball very well.
Second half just underway here in St. Louis, with Kentucky leading Tulsa by 1. Greg Harrington, the starters for Tulsa, back in here to open the second half. And the give to Davis, and he may have run with the ball. No. In fact, Kentucky motioning, he thought they ran with it. The basket is allowed, and he'll shoot one as Kamara commits his second foul.
You don't hear much about Charlie Davis. He just quietly goes about his job. Another guy listed at 6'7", and he's probably closer to 6'5" or 6'6", but he's the other big man along with Kevin Johnson. He just goes about his business. Averages 9 points, 7 rebounds a game, shoots 63% from the field, so very efficient.
Tulsa reclaims the lead, 45-43. That's as big a lead as the Golden Hurricane have had in the game. Bogans inside using his muscle. Kamara with a tip. Bogans gets it back. Over Harrington, blocked. It was Johnson behind Harrington with a block. And Swanson is blocked by Prince. This has had just one terrific play after another. Bogans over Johnson this time, and it's tied at 45. 13 for Bogans. Swanson unable to connect on the 3, and Cliff Hawkins for Kentucky.
Well, you can just see the look of confidence on the face and the body language of Keith Bogans. He's just a totally different player. The last game and the first half of this one plus.
Prince creating by penetrating deeply and then setting up the easy basket. So Kamara now with 8.
Now these slow times down the floor for Tulsa, they want to make sure that they spread the floor as wide as possible.
Bogans with a steal. And the foul by Swanson. So Bogans 2 and to the line. First foul on Swanson.
Take a look at Tayshaun Prince. Good with the bounce, getting into the lane, little change of pace dribble, finding Jules Kamara on the baseline. And then I was talking about spreading the floor, although they was spread too far. You got to make sure that you come to meet the ball, as Keith Bogans just diving into that passing lane. And right away, Greg Harrington went to his teammates and said, my bad, terrible pass.
And a nice bank by Harrington, hanging in the air for his 7th point. 49-47 Kentucky, less than 2 minutes gone here in the second half. Freshman Hayes from Modesto, California. He was a terrific tight end in football in Modesto, California. Foul on Charlie Davis as Tubby Smith, a former head coach at Tulsa, and John Phillips, first-year head coach at age 55, running the Golden Hurricane basketball program. They've had 5 coaches in less than 10 years. And finally, Phillips says they can keep me around as long as they want. I have no intention of leaving the state. He's been a high school and an assistant coach all his life, all in Oklahoma. There you see Tubby Smith, who got the program really high geared. 94, 95, they went to the Sweet 16.
It was interesting yesterday talking to the Tulsa players, comparing the different coaches. That it just seems like it's been a different one every year, although John Phillips has been the constant over the last 3 years for a lot of these players as the assistant coach, and he's been the big X and O man plus a recruiter.
He was the assistant under Bill Self, who went to Illinois, and then last year Buzz Peterson, who left after just 1 year in the program to become the head coach at Tennessee. Reed unable to get inside. The long pass out to Bogans. And he is fouled. Swanson trying to stop him, but picks up his second foul.
A nice move by Antonio Reed, getting into the lane, but leaving his feet, just unable to get the shot up. And then Swanson getting back, making sure that Bogans does not get a lay and make him earn him from the free throw line.
Blocked at the other end by the freshman Chuck Hayes. As you see, troubled Gerald Fitch. He's had his difficulties throughout the year, 3 different times suspended. That well documented throughout this championship. But the theme for Tubby Smith and the Wildcats coming here is, with all the negative injuries, dismissals, transfers, suspensions, that we've got to think positively. And he even brought in a motivational speaker. Not only, he said, for my team, but for myself. I was losing focus. And there's his wife, Donna Smith. That's a tough call for her. Do I stay home in Lexington, watch our youngest son play for the state championship as a junior, or do I come with Daddy? And you can see the call. Harrington for 3. Kept alive by Johnson. Davis has it swatted away by Kamara.
The size of Kentucky really taking effect in and around the basket right now. Tulsa not really gauging it very well. They're going to have to do something else, and those shots are going to get knocked out of there every time.
No fall as Hawkins able to get to Harrington.
John Phillips has gotten Jason Parker back out on the floor. He had a outstanding first half with 10 points.
And Hawkins finally whistled. He'd been bumping him all the way down the court, and the whistle is his second foul.
Jules Kamara at about 6'11", hanging around the basket, and long and rangy. And again, you're going to have to come with something a lot stronger than this, as Charlie Davis just trying a conventional layup. That won't get it done. You're going to have to try to power dunk it or go to the other side of the rim and use it as a shield.
Travel is the call against Jason Parker. 9th turnover for Tulsa. John Phillips talking with his kids yesterday. They went on mouse as a team saying, hey, you're going to hire a new coach. Keep Phillips here, the assistant. Promote him. Don't go out getting someone from outside. They had a big voice in him getting the job. Prince hasn't lost the touch. Princely indeed. Tayshaun has 19.
Miscommunication on the part of the Tulsa defense, trying to play a little game there. They thought Prince was going to go inside, and then Kevin Johnson fell asleep, and they left the hottest shooter on the floor wide open.
All alone, Prince. He says, I'll take the 3. A little concern on the faces of the Phillips family, wife Leah and daughter Kelly behind the Tulsa bench as the Golden Hurricane falls behind by 7 with 3.5 minutes gone here in the second half.
John Phillips taking that timeout as he sensed complete confusion on the part of his team defensively. The size of Tulsa being so small, they have to try to play some games, do a little tricks. At least they feel they do, to keep Kentucky from banging inside on them.
Golden Hurricane with their starting 5 on the court. With one exception, Parker here on the wing. Inside to Davis. He scores, he's fouled. using his big body well to shield off the defense.
A good point, Dick. That's the difference in what Charlie Davis did before. Before, he just tried to go straight up with a layup. This time he makes contact with Kamara, even though Kamara much taller, but just that little lean in there, and you see causes the separation on the kind of the frail frame of Jules Kamara backing off.
And he's out now with his third personal foul. He'll be rested by Tubby Smith. And the 6'9" junior Marquise Estel replaces him. Going for the three-point play, Davis rattles out, and Estel with a rebound. 54-49 Kentucky with the lead and the ball. Hawkins, what a nice setup to Fitch.
Way too easy. First of all, getting into the paint, and the defense, they have to stop dribblers. You just can't let a man get in that easy because you're going to get high percentage shots.
We told you the 6'10" sophomore can shoot from outside. Jack Ingram bangs home his first points from outside the arc.
Well, Tulsa's going to need not only some scoring from Jack Ingram, they're going to need a presence in the paint.
And Prince, 2 more for him. He now has 21 points. His career high is 31.
Tulsa just cannot keep Kentucky controlled on the dribble. They're just going anywhere they want. They're going to have to take a stand and dig in.
58-52. Tayshaun Prince scores, takes a bump in the head at the same time. No school program has won more tournament games, nor have appeared in more NCAA tournaments than the University of Kentucky. Their 44th appearance in the postseason, 7 national titles, only UCLA's 11 exceeding that. And they lead Tulsa 58-52 with 4 minutes and 40 seconds gone in this second half. And this man with the ball, Hawkins, has been an absolute demon on defense.
A demon, and also playing almost a mistake-free game, handling the ball very well, penetrating, keeping the ball moving, and that's basically what Kentucky needs from Cliff Hawkins.
Takes it inside. It goes off the foot of Ingram to Fitch. Bogans fires from three-point range, and Fitch in there for the rebound and a foul, I believe, on Ingram of Tulsa. Let's just take a look at our Eastern, although we're in St. Louis, this is an Eastern bracket game with the winner down below, Tulsa or Kentucky, advancing to Syracuse next Friday against either Maryland or Wisconsin. That game to be played later today. Actually tomorrow, the Terrapins. Then makes the steal. Down by 6. The black and blue clad Golden Hurricane on the offense.
Now Tulsa's going to have to find a way to score here. They're just kind of passing the ball around the perimeter. They're going to have to get some dribble penetration, draw defense, kick out. They got to keep the floor spread and try to take the bigger Kentucky players away from the basket.
Tayshaun Prince with his first foul, holding underneath as John Phillips calls out the play. Attended Oklahoma State. Hank Iba, the legendary coach at Oklahoma State, was an influence. He said his high school coach, he still does some things that his high school coach taught him. Reed, that's well taught. Number 3 hits a 3. 7 points for him, and just like that, Tulsa's within 3.
Now, Tulsa relies so heavily on their 3-point shooting. They shoot a high percentage, 41%, top 10 in the league.
Kentucky and Tulsa battling here in the second half. 6 minutes into this half, and Kentucky with a 3-point advantage. It was a 1-point game at the intermission. Bogans and Prince, the 2 stars from Kentucky, have led the way. Prince with 21 in the game, and Bogans has countered with 17. And this is Bogans in the corner for 3 more. Swanson battles, collects the rebound at 5 feet 10 to Reed, another 5'10" guard. Ledoux just in, gets Prince off his feet, can't hit the banker, and the foul on Ledoux as Bogans had position on him. Second foul now on Marcus Ledoux from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. As you look at both teams shooting over 50%.
Exceptional shooting. Tulsa's really struggling with their defense primarily, and Tulsa's just an outstanding shooting team game in and game out. But even though that play went against Ledoux, that's what Tulsa has to do. Swing the ball, reverse it, skip past it, and keep it spread, and got the man up in the air and drove, but he got to go in under control.
Only player in foul for either team, Jules Kamara. He's on the bench with 3. Prince had it his own way. Short this time. Ingram again giving Coach Phillips some solid minutes off the bench. Reed has it picked away by Fitch and kicked forward to Bogans. No advantage here for Bogans. 2 on 3. Then as a piece of it was Swanson. Fitch unable to hit. Estel's tip isn't there. And out of the pack, Jarius Glenn, the 6'6 freshman from Decatur, Georgia. And it's Reed down court to hit another 3. It's tied at 58.
That's a Tulsa fast break. They had a 5 on 4, but anytime Reed, Swanson, Parker, any of those guys, Harrington included, get a look from beyond the arc, don't let it fly.
Reed had 18 in the win against Marquette, 10 today. Now it's Prince's turn, and he has 24 to lead all scores.
Boy, incredible sniping from Tayshaun Prince. 5 out of 6 from downtown, and that was with a hand in his face.
Hawkins with a reach-in foul on Antonio Reed for Kentucky. Their 5th team foul. Tulsa also with 5 here in the second half.
Pushing the ball up on the fast break. Antonio Reed stopping, setting himself, and then Tayshaun Prince. Last time he had the ball, went inside, couldn't get it done. He was being guarded by a man somewhat close to his size. Figured, hey, I'm so hot from the outside, go out there. But that shot was challenged.
There's Reed again. Not this time. Glenn up high for the rebound and the foul. No traveling is the call. Bogan's defense forcing the extra step.
The crowd doesn't like it. Felt there was some contact on the play.
There was.
And that's why, if there was a shuffling of the feet, that's why.
Levens is in for Hawkins now. Hawkins with 3 fouls. He and Kamara being rested by Tubby Smith. Hayes and Ingram. And Hayes fouled by Glenn, who came over to help out. Good-looking freshman, isn't he, this?
Yeah.
Chuck Hayes. Ingram's 2nd foul. And a reminder, Monday, an all-new Late Show with David Letterman. Don't miss Arizona Senator John McCain. Musical guest will be White Stripes. Then Tuesday, Dave welcomes Jon Stewart. It's all on CBS.
A good thing about a player like Chuck Hayes is he doesn't need the basketball to help his team at the offensive end. Plays nicely off the ball. There's his father, stands, and looks to get to the offensive boards. When he does get a touch inside, he has shown a nice soft touch.
And he's a good free throw shooter, 76% on the season. Timeout, 11:54 remaining, second half. With Matt Gukas and Armin Katayan, Dick Enberg here in St. Louis. Here are the numbers, the game summary. What catches your eye?
Well, obviously the three-point shooting has been exceptional, but this is really hurting the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, the turnovers. But a model of efficiency, Keith Bogans and Tayshaun Prince shooting the ball brilliantly.
Combination of the 2 scoring, Prince and Bogans, for Kentucky with 41 of their 63 points and a 5-point lead with 11:43 left in the second half. In black, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. They have 3 men in double figures, and Reed hot here in the second half from 3-point range. Parker working on Fitch, doesn't get the roll, and the rebound by Fitch. Fitch and Blevins, new backcourt for Kentucky from the starters with Hawkins out. Terrific shooting by both sides, and Tayshaun Prince conducting a clinic here in St. Louis. He's got 26 points. He's missed only 2 attempts the entire game, and Reed almost decapitated on that foul. Prince is 10 for 12 in the game.
It just doesn't get any better than that, as Tayshaun Prince got started off in this game with a little lob pass inside against the smaller Greg Harrington. Got an easy little lay-in, and it has been all gravy for him after that. Everything he puts up has looked good, playing with a great deal of confidence right now. And this is the juncture in the first half when Tubby Smith went to almost a complete second unit. It was a complete second unit, very ineffective, but so far in this one, he is keeping Bogans and Prince out on the floor.
Starter Greg Harrington returns for Tulsa, replacing Ledoux. Reed, a good free throw shooter, 75%, misses the first. 18 against Marquette, 10 here versus Kentucky today. It's 65-59 with 11 to go. Levens with Reed on him defensively. Bogans draws the much shorter Swanson, 7 inches given away there. Prince, another one. Misses only his third shot, but Hayes keeps it alive on the offensive rebound.
The amazing thing about all this, with the incredible shooting that we're seeing from the Kentucky Wildcats, Tulsa is still hanging around. Kentucky can't really get a lot of separation until now.
It's Prince again. 3 points away from his career best. And Harrington going in for the shot. Fly swatted by Prince, but there was a foul called before the shot.
Well, Tulsa cannot find a comfortable matchup, obviously, against Tayshaun Prince. They started with little guys. Started with Harrington, went to Dante Swanson, who was an all-defensive, all-WAC performer. And actually, he didn't really get hurt that much, but he's only about 5'10", 5'11".
Greg Harrington, the senior, the only really senior contributor on this Tulsa team, so they're going to be tough again next year. Says he wants to be a coach someday. Basketball is love. He's going to stay with the sport. Hits them both, has 9 in the game. 67-61, the Kentucky lead. Wake and Oregon also in a tough battle, a 2-point game. That'll be a charge as Ingram held his ground. And the second foul on Fitch.
Good job by Big Jack Ingram, making his presence felt. Made a good defensive play earlier on a steal. That time stepping into the lane. There he is, stepping up. Little lean in, but certainly there in plenty of time. 9th team foul on Kentucky, so the next one will send Tulsa into the double bonus, and the next Tulsa foul will be their 7th, and Kentucky will be in the 1-1. Kevin Johnson, leading scorer for Tulsa, back in the game, and a hold is a call against Bogans, who didn't like it. That's his 3rd. Some of the Kentucky fans disapproving. Double bonus for Tulsa as Parker goes to the line. Well, the game plan for Tulsa coming in was to go inside to Kevin Johnson, see what he could get done in and around the basket. He produced early in the first half, and then other than that, spread the floor as much as possible to get some driving lanes against the bigger, they're not that much slower, but the bigger, stronger Kentucky team. It has not worked as well as I'm sure John Phillips would have liked to this point. Parker, only a 60% free throw shooter, hits 1 out of 2. Kentucky's lead at 5. Kentucky with the ball and a 5-point lead. 9 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in St. Louis. Blevins guns from 3. Well off the mark. And Harrington rebounds for the Golden Hurricane. Harrington left alone at the top of the key. They look for Johnson inside, but Prince has him. There he is, Johnson. Brilliant leaper. And is he quick off his feet? So quick across the lane. Tayshaun Prince is a very good defensive player. Did an outstanding job defensively in the Valparaiso game against Lubos Barton, shutting him down. Kentucky missed an opportunity on the last possession to go inside to Prince against the smaller Dante Swanson, trying to get it to him here. A little more patient on this possession. The Kentucky Wildcats, their lead down to 3. Prince is trying to get J.P. Blevins to get out of the way and clear out that corner. No basket. A hold on Jason Parker, his first. There's Kevin Johnson getting a good catch, and then just quickness beating Tayshaun Prince. Not the strongest guy in the world, but does move the feet pretty well.
12 points for Johnson. He leads Tulsa in scoring, as he has many games this year. Just under 15 is average. Bogans hits the front end. He now with 18 points. What a 1-2 punch.
Such a disappointing season, a regular season for Keith Bogans, but now the bright lights of the NCAA tournament are on.
So Keith Bogans and Tayshaun Prince set 19 points for Bogans. And Prince chipping in with 27 more himself. Kentucky's lead is 5, 69-64. 8:43 left here in St. Louis. Winner advances to the Sweet 16 next Friday night in Syracuse.
Kentucky going to a zone here. They have not shown that much of it.
Inside to Harrington. Hayes, a much bigger man, moves in on Harrington. Parker taking Blevins.
Somebody's got to flash to that middle area. They're just going to pass the ball around the perimeter and get a 4% shot like that.
Swanson gives Tulsa an extra chance. Now into Kevin Johnson. Oh, he's so quick off his feet. 69-66. Johnson with 14.
How about the adjustment in the air? Normally he goes up strong with two hands, unable to get that left hand on the ball. Still able to control it and put the soft touch on it.
Daniels in the game now for Kentucky, number 14. Daniels, Blevins, Hayes, Tayshaun Prince, and Fitch. So only Prince, a starter, currently on the court. Well, and Hayes, he started as well, and he shoots from outside, gets his own rebound, takes it in where he belongs, and scores. And is fouled.
Now that has becoming more and more the type of play that Chuck Hayes is able to come up with. Kind of hangs around, gets to the glass. This time coming up with the offensive rebound, and then does a nice job of protecting the ball as everybody was taking a swat at it.
Greg Harrington picking up his third foul for Tulsa. 3-point play here for Hayes. And he now has 7 points in the game. And a timeout. Kentucky back on top by 5. Official scoreboard correcting and adding the point for Hayes to make it 72-66. 7:35 left. Our tournament summary. Now, Holly, the luck of the Irish, although St. Patty's Day tomorrow, they played tough against Duke. It was even with a minute to go. In fact, Notre Dame led by 7 with 7.5. But the national defending champion Blue Devils prevailed. And Melanie Davis, congratulations. First female ever to officiate a men's NCAA tournament game in Chicago yesterday. 6-point lead, Kentucky.
Back to the zone defense again for Kentucky. Somebody's going to have to flash in the middle like Kevin Johnson did last time.
Parker fires from 3. Not there. Prince with a rebound.
I don't mind a 3-point shot because this team shoots it so well, but you would prefer that it would come on like a draw and kick or an inside-out type of play where you get a better rhythm to your shot.
Blevins, Reed, guarding him inside to Prince. He's fouled. He scores again. Tayshaun Prince. What a game today. The foul is on Parker.
On the last 4 or 5 possessions, little Dante Swanson at 5'10" has been guarding Prince and has actually been fortunate because Prince has been unable to get the ball. You had to feel in that last timeout that Tayshaun Prince said, hey, I got a midget on me. Get the ball inside. But don't sell Dante Swanson short. He is a 2-time first-team all-defender in the WAC. And, of course, he's more known for his 3-point shooting. Tops in the nation at 50%.
That foul will be on Hayes as Prince with a chance to equal his tournament high and career high, 31 points. Is 12 for 15. No way that Tulsa been able to defend stop Tayshaun Prince, showing you why he will draw some All-America votes. Was voted 3rd-team All-America by AP.
We were talking to John Phillips yesterday, and he knew that it was going to be a tough matchup. He was trying to put a positive spin on it by saying, yeah, but it's a tough matchup for them because somebody, and Prince is going to have to guard one of our perimeter players, presumably Greg Harrington, but Harrington really hasn't taken advantage of it when they've been going against man-to-man defense.
Kevin Johnson hits both free throws. He has 16 points to lead the Golden Hurricane. 74-68. The Wildcats of Kentucky under 7 to go. Number 1 seed Kansas and number 8 seed Stanford waiting in the wings for the second game from St. Louis tonight.
Kentucky getting a little bit deliberate here, but
another three. Tayshaun Prince, the best game in his brilliant career in Kentucky scoring. He now has 33 points. Ingram. And Kentucky enjoying its largest lead of the game at 9. Has the ball in 6 minutes plus to go.
6 out of 7 from downtown for Tayshaun Prince.
Getting a little timeout.
Getting a little frisky out there now.
Timeout Kentucky as Tayshaun knew he was going to be tied up. A shooting clinic by number 21 Tayshaun Prince from Compton, California.
Take a look at Tayshaun Prince over here, and then look at the zone defense on the backside because the ball is over here. But when that ball is swung, Kevin Johnson is staying inside on this man. But when you're dealing with Tayshaun Prince, as hot as he has been, but the key to that play offensively was the ball going into the middle of the zone first.
And Prince, not this time, gets it back. And a foul. Well, he's hitting outside 6 for 7 from 3-point range, and he just missed 2 in a row from 1 foot away.
Well, 13 for 15 at one point, and then he's going to miss the 2 easiest shots that he gets right there. Misses the first one, gets the other one, the next one, and unable to finish it. He's got to be a little bit tired, although the adrenaline's got to be pumping as well.
Tubby Smith called him the toughest mentally, the strongest in that regard of any kid he's ever seen. Last year, the SEC Player of the Year, averaging 17 on the season this year, and this is all-time high as he sights in for his 35th point of the game.
All of these Kentucky players and the coaching staff have gone through a tumultuous season, but seniors like Tayshaun Prince and J.P. Blevins have been appealing to their teammates to, hey, let's go out on a strong note. Let's not end the way we ended in that Southeast Conference nightmare against South Carolina.
Harrington inside over Prince. Outquicks him there. 79-70 has Tayshaun Prince's hot hand. Nullified the spirit of this fast but small Tulsa team. Plenty of time, 5.5, but they've got to get some stops.
Well, they do, but the Kentucky team also has to realize the capability of Tulsa with their 3-point shooting.
So with everyone on Prince, that left Hayes open for a 15-footer, rebounded by Johnson. Swanson at the other end to his close friend Reed, who takes it inside at 5'10", challenging Hayes, who stands 6'7". 13 for Reed. 5 minutes.
Extending their defense now, trying to put some pressure on, looking for a couple of traps if they can get him, but Tayshaun Prince just continues to be unbelievable.
37 points for Prince. As far as we know, that's the highest point total by any player in the tournament thus far this year. Johnson picks up the loose ball and scores 81-74.
Tulsa's starting to find some easy scoring opportunities, but the problem is trying to get a stop at this end, and in particular trying to get a handle on Tayshaun Prince.
Pitch open, takes the 15-footer. Rebound Reed. He does push it, doesn't he? Oh, and then Prince, as if he can't play the total game, says, how about this one? I'll just fly swat it away. 3 blocks in the game.
Tayshaun Prince, you're right, Dick, not just doing it offensively, but has been a force around the basket with those long arms. Watch Antonio Reed. A little hesitation dribble there. Stood up Prince and then able to blow by. The legs have to be a little bit weary for Tayshaun Prince. You can see him now. He's bending over. He's exhausted.
He scored the three-point shot right at the buzzer to end the first half to give Kentucky a 1-point lead, and then he scored 21 of the 38 Kentucky points in the second half.
Kentucky really closing out quickly now on the three-point shooters, not giving them a look.
And there are 4 guards in the game now for Tulsa. All love to shoot from outside, and Johnson, the only big man, he clears it outside, and Parker unable to hit. Prince, what else are you going to do? Get ready at the hot dog stand. Tayshaun's done everything else.
I was going to meet Jason Parker here. The last possession, Parker, when Prince did not have the ball, just got up and face guarded him, not letting him receive it.
Working on the shorter Parker, who gets a piece of it. Rebound, Kamara. Daniels up on the back, and Johnson able to rebound. Reed, no numbers here. Now Reed for 3. Antonio Reed, the junior from Tulsa, has 16.
Did you say no numbers, Dick? Just 4 on 5. You don't need numbers with this Tulsa ball. They left fire to 3 at any 1 on 5.
So Kentucky's lead whittled to 4. And Reed said, "Oh, I thought I had ball, Mr. Referee." Second foul on Antonio Reed. CBS Sportsline stat of the game, 3-point field goals. They both have unabashedly fired from outside the arc, and Kentucky led by Tayshaun Prince with the advantage. Get complete tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com or America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Cliff Hawkins with his 6th point of the game.
Cliff Hawkins has played a very solid game. Nothing fancy, nothing out of the ordinary, but just taking care of the basketball, making sure, for the most part, that Tayshaun Prince has gotten his touches.
That was a big rebound by Tayshaun Prince. A new 35-second clock with 2:50 left. Prince with 8 rebounds and way outside this time. And the tip by Kamara, not quite. Reed. Little guy's got quite a few rebounds. Swanson, well off the mark. He was their best of the three-point shooters all season long, but cold here in the tournament.
Actually, he's cooled off in the latter stages of the regular season and in the WAC tournament. Still struggling with his 3, and that really hurts the Tulsa cause.
Orlando Tubby Smith with a timeout. 2:25 to go. There's Mr. Wildcat, Bill Kitely, 75. He has been the equipment manager at Kentucky since Adolph Rupp. This is his 41st year. He says, boy, the big change is you could take these floppy uniforms of today. One of those would make 2 of the uniforms they wore in the 60s. And he also told me something else. That old expression, fake a guy out of his jock, you can't do that anymore.
No, you can't.
No, you fake someone out of their compression shorts.
Takes a lot longer to say.
82-77. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. In the winner will meet Maryland or Wisconsin in the Sweet 16. Deliberate possession for Kentucky. Just over 2 minutes remaining here in St. Louis with Kentucky the ball in the lead. Prince beats the, and a big tip out by Kamara or Hayes, and that keeps it alive. It was Hayes, and a new 35 seconds for Kentucky, leading 82-77. And Tubby Smith said, just hold it right out there. Make them come out and get us. We'll eat as much time as we can. Hawkins with the ball.
The big thing Kentucky wants to do is just make sure they get a decent shot and then have transition defense and don't give up an open 3. And of course, Tulsa's going to look to push it, and they'll be firing those triples.
Tayshaun Prince and Keith Bogans have been brilliant. That one won't fall for Hawkins. It's out of bounds to Tulsa. Prince with a career best 37 points, the All-America from Kentucky. Bogans adding 19 to spark the 4th seed Wildcats. They lead by 5. Keep it back with our game reset here in St. Louis. 1:21 left. Kentucky by 5. Tulsa with the ball, and of course with that 3-point shooting firepower is still a threat with 1:21 to go in their other brackets. Tulsa, Kentucky here in the Eastern bracket will meet Maryland, Wisconsin in the Sweet 16. That winner next Friday night at Syracuse. Here come the Golden Hurricane. They've got 4 excellent three-point shooters on the floor.
And with 3 timeouts left, if they score, they can stop the clock, but I don't know if they want to, because Kentucky really right now, for the most part, other than Chuck Hayes, all poor free throw shooters out there, or at least under 70%.
Harrington for 3, and he hits the captain, the senior from Tulsa's Golden Hurricane, and it's 82-80. Kentucky led by 11 at the 6-minute mark.
And you don't need a foul here. All you have to do is play solid defense. You'd like to keep the ball out of the hands of Tayshaun Prince if you're Tulsa.
Hawkins off to Hayes and back out to Fitch. 15 on the shot clock. 35 left in the game. 35 seconds. Down to 9. Prince. Davis on him. Prince takes him to the basket. No basket, but a foul as Davis, trying to stop him, got a piece of the arm. His second.
Greg Harrington, the hero in the Marquette win, hitting the big shot with 14 seconds to go, bringing his team within 2 here on his 14th point of the night.
Timeout call, 25 seconds left. Kentucky will be at the line when we return. .82-80 Kentucky. 25 seconds left. Plenty of timeouts both sides. Both teams in the double bonus, and Kentucky with the arrow as Tayshaun Prince, who has made 14 shots today. The rest of the Wildcats have 14. As Prince carrying this team on his All-America shoulders, looking for his 38th point. He's not a brilliant free throw shooter.
69% on the season, 3 out of 5 today.
Big there. A 3-point lead. Tulsa fans hoping for a miss here to be within a 3-point shot to tie.
And Tulsa going the other way, no matter what the situation, doesn't necessarily need to fire away the 3. They should attack the basket first.
And Tayshaun Prince, what a showcase game for this junior, or senior rather. Came back to Kentucky after considering leaving a year ago. 39 points, his previous high 31.
4 capable 3-point shooters, but all 4 of them capable of taking the ball to the basket to create either an easy 2 or a kick out.
It's Johnson inside, a rare miss for him. Rebound, and Fitch is fouled. 16 seconds left as they go to the other end. Fitch will get 2 shots. Kevin Johnson, one of the few misses for him in this game.
He is usually so efficient around the basket. Looked like the ball just kind of floated out of his hands. Couldn't get the follow-up there either.
So you play, you practice for hours and days and months, and it comes down to the final seconds, and one will continue. And that very expression, how sweet it is to go to the 16s. And for the others, it's over.
And you're talking about seniors in this situation. Greg Harrington has been the heart, the soul, the guts of this Tulsa team, and a senior leader and a winner for John Phillips.
Kentucky timeout. 5-point lead. Well, you saw Duke and Notre Dame, great game. And then this game, the second of our quadruple header, and the third game coming up, UNC Wilmington, Indiana. Most of you will see Stanford and Kansas, who will play here in St. Louis in about 30 minutes. Tulsa has a couple timeouts left with 16 seconds remaining and down by 5. Reed can get it into the offensive end in a hurry. Here he comes. They let him take the shot. He scores. Timeout. It took about 6 seconds for Reed to cut Kentucky's lead to 3. Full timeout for Tulsa. 10 seconds to go. Into the eyes of Leah Phillips, the wife of Coach John, the realization that it's going to take something really special to win. And on the other side, Donna Smith, the wife of Tubby. She's known the glory of going all the way and winning the championship 4 years ago. Can it happen again for Kentucky?
I'll take that last play by Antonio Reed. Smart play. Just take the quickest score you can get. Got the easy 2. Now 10 seconds left. You want to extend the game as much as you can. On the first pass, you go for steal, but you can't waste any time. You can't try to pick out a foul shooter. You foul the first man and take your chances there.
See if someone, it's Prince have to foul, and Ledoux just into the game after a 2.5 expired, commits the foul. 85-82, the pressure on Prince to make at least one to take away the three-pointer, tying it up for Tulsa. And Tayshaun Prince to the line. He has terrorized the hopes of John Phillips and this Tulsa team, looking for his 40th point.
The senior just coming through in fine fashion along with junior Keith Bogans. They have been brilliant, but certainly Tayshaun Prince has been unbelievably brilliant.
So a 4-point lead. And the Kentucky fans can taste a big victory now.
And the only thing that can hurt Kentucky here is committing some kind of a foul.
That makes it 5 points, 41 of them belonging to Tayshaun Prince. Swanson has to force the 3. Recovered by Prince. He throws it up. When it comes down, Kentucky will advance to the Sweet 16. Tubby Smith's Cats defeat a tough Tulsa team, 87-82. Tayshaun Prince with 41, Bogans with 19 to lead Kentucky to Syracuse in the round of 16. And there they'll meet either Maryland or Wisconsin. They'll play tomorrow. Chevrolet's players of the game: Antonio Reed, the little guard for Tulsa, with 18 points. And Tayshaun Prince, who else? A magnificent game by Prince. 41 points, 9 rebounds for the senior from Compton, California. Kentucky advances, and we go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick Enberg, thank you very much. Kentucky advances on to play in Syracuse.